All right, I just wanted to do a little bit of talking about your guys' first project, and a little bit more about the course too, and what's expected for the distance learners that were not in class to get this information. So you'll see a lot more in the Schoology folder for your class, as well as several stuff that are due. But just want to bring the schedule and expectations up to you first. This layout is definitely a little bit, I'll fix it later. Anyways, all right, so one of your jobs is work as an advisor to students in AP CSA. The distance learners here, I'm going to have you guys be definitely a mentor and advisor to some of the AP CSA students that are also distance only. If they have any questions, they should check the code with you, explain exam results in small group settings, and each student will be given a small group of AP CSA students, like I mentioned. Kind of what I'm envisioning, especially for you guys, is to host some Google Meets or something like that, so that students can have a experience where they can talk to another mentor or something in the class. The next and by far the biggest part of your grade is to complete a portfolio with 6 projects. So project 1 is going to be due September 26th, so that's next Friday already. You're going to create a project with images, so a graphics project. And I don't necessarily care what the project is, but that is due next week. We'll talk just a little bit more about that towards the end of the video. On October 10th, you're going to have a project where you're learning a second language besides Java. On October 24th, you're going to do a little bit of programming with robotics, hopefully, cross my fingers. And then November 6th is the end of the quarter, which is also the end of the semester for you guys before you move on to different classes. So typically the final for advanced topics is to present at DaVinci Fest. I don't know how that's, if that's going to happen, and B, since it's already November, doing your final that late seems like something that I probably shouldn't do. So for you guys, it's more going to be a final project submission, something that you would maybe do for DaVinci Fest, but you just won't be there and won't be presenting it there. Some semester 2 items is there's going to be the coding competition, and then at the very end of semester 2, it's a capstone project. So pretty much all of semester 2 is just working on one project, but really making something that is marketing yourself and is above and beyond by far the expectations in AP Computer Science, but is really personalized to you. The whole part of this course is that it is intentionally vague, so that you can really tailor it towards whatever you like. I had one kid last year that was really into cybersecurity and like creating stuff with passwords and making sure that they are encrypted and whatnot. And so he tailored a lot of his projects towards that. I had other people who created games. I had other people who were creating websites and whatnot. So you can really tailor your projects towards whatever area of computer science that you're interested in. Another component is to complete the Acer Chromebook certification. It looks like this is going to be in October, so we'll talk more about that later. Complete the DaVinci Fest presentation, like I said. It'll just be a final project if there is no DaVinci Fest. And then complete the qualification round for the Google Code Jam the first week of April. So there's that coding competition that I mentioned a little bit earlier. So that's kind of my expectations for you in this course. So now let's talk a little bit more about the different items that are going to be part of your grade. So let me go to this rubric for grading. So when I grade a project, it's always rubric graded, and there's 5 areas that I'm looking for. So the first area is the program specifications and correctness. This is the most important area, so this is worth 20 out of 50 points. And this is really letting me know that you followed whatever you're supposed to do. So for example, the graphics project, you have to create a program in Java dealing with graphics. So for example, if yours doesn't have graphics in it, I'm obviously deducting a lot of points for that because you didn't fill in the program specification. Anything else that is really just like, you have to contain this in your project, that would be graded in this area. Readability is worth 10 out of the 50 points. That I'm looking just so that I can understand your code, read your code, and make sure that you're creating well-formatted code. So you're using indentation consistently. You're commenting your code when necessary, and that everything should be, your variable names make sense. You're not using variables named ABC or random letters or words, that they really mean what they are, right? A num stands for a number, something like that. So that would be 10 points out of the 50. Documentation is also 10 points out of the 50. And I'm sorry, this is more where the commenting aspect is going to be in, so that you're documenting your code correctly, that it's just really balanced, and everything in your code is where it needs to be. Even your methods, your class names, everything is really well laid out for me. 5 points out of 50 for the coding efficiency. And this would be that you're using just good coding etiquette almost. Instead of just everything in the main class and main method, that you now with this can have everything multi-class, multi-method, so that it's really just efficient. Obviously creating loops to do stuff instead of just a bunch of code. So just making sure your code is really efficient in the way that it's written. And then the last thing is just assignment specification. So this is, once again, it's 5 points out of 20. And this is just making sure that you do the little things right. So if I tell you to send me your links and the link doesn't work or something like that, or you don't even send me a link, then that's where I'm going to deduct points here. So just making sure that the files are named correctly so that I can open them and that I can use them and that they're accessible for me to grade, right there. So if we go just look down here, this is pretty much just everything we talked about, just kind of breaking it down a little bit more. So these projects are out of 50 points. So you'll see, once again, the program specification correctness is 20 out of the 50. Readability and documentation are 10 each. And then the coding efficiency and assignment specifications are 5 each as well. You can kind of see what that looks. Just a quick course or a quick message is that a lot of this course is designed to look like a college level course. So this rubric is, I grabbed from a college level computer science course, because we're really, you guys obviously are excited about coding and have an interest in coding. So I'm trying to make this look more like an upper level experience for you as well. All right. And so then when you submit your project, you're going to have to do, sorry, not that one, the project submission template. So you're going to have to fill this out. This is just your basic information to start out here. So your project type, the first one obviously would be the graphics project. And then your name, title, what coding language, so Java for the first one, then you link your code. Here's where you'll give me all the information about your project, just every kind of thing about it. Especially with the assumptions, just let me know if there's anything that we need to assume with your code with it. And then this is the phase breakdown, and this is where it's a lot more up to you. So I have 3 phases here. It definitely doesn't need to be 3 phases. It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be whatever you need to. But this is where you can really break down what you did and how you did it. So if you're creating a game, maybe the first thing, phase 1 is, hey, I created the window. And then phase 2 is I created all the shapes for the game. And then phase 3 is I created all the interaction between the stuff so that it worked. And then maybe phase 4 is I created a score and a time for the game or something like that. But that just breaks it down so we can see exactly what you did for the game and kind of how you went about designing it. Once again, this template is from a college level course. So it's really just designed to kind of get you guys to start thinking about your code, how you're doing it, and set you up for success there. So those are the expectations for every project that we do. But then I did want to just talk about your first project since it is due next week already. Just a reminder that this is a quarter class and it's designed to be a semester level course. So you're going to have to put a decent amount of time into this stuff because you don't have a whole semester to get it done. It typically is you have one month for each project, but because of the quarter timeline, you have about 2 weeks for each project. So make sure you're working on stuff. I'm going to do check-ins with you guys every Monday and Thursday. So the first check-in will be this Thursday, September 17th. And I'm basically just interested to know what you did. So first, let's just go to the graphics project itself. This will be where you submit your project. I have here are your directions. So you'll create a project game in Java using graphics components. That's it. that's kind of my requirements for you. It's very, very broad, because once again, I want you to specify and kind of go whichever way you want with this. So if you want to do a game, create a game. That's probably definitely the easiest for a graphics project. But if you want to do a project of some sort, maybe you want to create a seating chart for a classroom or something like that. Obviously, I'm looking at my classroom right now, which is where that came from. But if you want to do something like that with graphics, that's fine too. This first link is just kind of a beginning graphics in Java tutorial. It's a YouTube video I found, so you can just kind of watch that real quick. This is also designed to be almost self-taught a little bit. I'm definitely here as a helper, but really this learning is all about you finding your own answers and creating it and doing something with it. Because everybody is doing vastly different things. I can't be an expert in all of it. So I'm here to kind of point you in a good direction to go. But then it's up to you to kind of go in that direction. The next three things are just all from the Java Oracle documentation. So they're going to be the methods you can use and the items that you can use to create graphics projects in Java. So the Canvas class, the JFrame class, and the graphics class. And you'll hear about some of this in here. But as you're looking up and trying to figure out this new way to code graphics in Java, those videos and those class documentations are going to be helpful to identify. Once again, it's rubric graded, so this is the same rubric that we just talked about. It's just in Schoology, so it looks just a little bit different. It doesn't have all the detail, but that's why I gave you that link to that other one. So now that you know what the graphics project is, remember you're going to have check-ins. So it's going to have check-in on Thursday, you're going to have a check-in next Monday, and then your graphics project is due on Friday. So what the check-in is going to look like is it's just a Google form.